Congestive cardiac failure or heart failure is a condition when there is some abnormalities in heart's structure and function. The main function of the heart is to eject the blood from the ventricles and fill blood into the ventricles. When there is impairment in this function, it leads to heart failure. Impairment in blood ejection is called systolic dysfunction. Impairment in blood filling is called diastolic dysfunction. Heart failure may be either due to systolic dysfunction or diastolic dysfunction or both of this. Systolic dysfunction leads to heart failure with reduced ejection fraction. This is due to abnormalities in systolic function, so we call it a systolic heart failure. Diastolic dysfunction leads to heart failure with preserved ejection fraction. This is due to abnormalities in diastolic function, so we call it as diastolic heart failure. Now, ejection fraction is measurement of percentage of blood leaving your heart each time it contracts. I have mentioned that heart failure is either due to systolic dysfunction or diastolic dysfunction. Here we'll be seeing what causes systolic dysfunction and what causes diastolic dysfunction. Systolic dysfunction. One reason may be reduction in muscle mass. It involves muscle atrophy, that is, number of muscle fibers is reduced. Next, dilated cardiomyopathy. It means heart muscle disease. Here the heart cannot pump as well as a healthy heart does. Next, ventricular hypertrophy. It means enlargement or thickening of ventricles. It either may be due to pressure overload where there is thickening in ventricular wall, or it may be due to volume overload where there is enlargement in the size of the ventricular chamber. Diastolic dysfunction. One, it may be due to increased ventricular stiffness. This may be due to ventricular hypertrophy, or it may be due to infiltrative myocardial disease where there is deposition of abnormal substance in the heart muscles, or it may be due to myocardial infarction or myocardial ischemia. Second, it may be due to mitral or tricuspid valve stenosis. Here there is narrowing in the opening of these heart valves. Third, may be due to pericardial disease where there is swelling or irritation in the pericardium. Chronic artery disease is a common cause for heart failure with reduced ejection fraction, and hypertension is a cause for both heart failure with reduced ejection fraction and preserved ejection fraction. Risk factors. Smoking, cholesterol, family history of this disease are few of the risk factors for heart failure. Previous myocardial infarction and coronary artery disease are risk factors for heart failure with reduced ejection fraction. Elderly, being female, obese, having arterial fibrillation, diabetes mellitus are risk factors for heart failure with preserved ejection fraction. Hypertension is risk factors for both preserved and reduced ejection fraction. Arterial fibrillation is irregular heart rate that causes poor blood flow. Symptoms include dyspnea, meaning difficulty in breathing, orthopnea, difficulty in breathing while lying down in flat position, paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, where you have difficulty in breathing which awakens the patient and it is usually relieved in upright position. Exercise intolerance, tachypnea, where you have abnormal rapid breathing, anorexia, loss of appetite, cough, fatigue, nausea, bloating, nocturia, urinating frequently at night, hemoptysis, coughing up blood, ascites, which means accumulation of fluids in the peritoneal cavity. Signs. One is pulmonary rales, where you have small clicking sound in your lungs when you breathe in. Pulmonary edema, a condition caused by excessive fluid in your lungs. S3 gallop, the third heart sound. Mitral valve regurgitation murmur. Here it is a condition where the heart's mitral valve doesn't close tightly, allowing the blood to flow backward in your heart. Cool extremities, where your hands and feet gets cold. Pleural effusion, where the fluid accumulates around the lungs due to poor pumping of heart. Narrow pulse pressure. Pulse pressure is difference in systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure, which should be 40. It can be between 30 to 50, but if it is less than 30, then we call it as narrow pulse pressure. Cardiomegaly is enlarged heart. Peripheral edema is leg swelling. Venous status changes, that is poor blood flow in the veins. Lateral displacement in apical impulse, cachexia. Chain stroke breathing. If this is normal breathing, then this is chain stroke breathing. Tachycardia is abnormal rapid heart rate. Jugular vein distinction. In the right side of the neck, you have jugular vein. It bulges when there is increased pressure in the superior vena cava. Hepatojugular reflex. This is a test where the patient is made to lie down and we press over the patient's liver firmly. By this, there is jugular vein distension. Then when the patient changes its position, that distension disappears. When it doesn't disappear, then that is a diagnostic test for heart failure. Hepatomegaly is abnormal enlargement of liver. Laboratory test. First one is BNP test, brain natriuretic peptide test. It is a blood test that measures the level of a protein called BPN, which is made by heart and blood vessels. BNP levels are more than 100 when you have heart failure. NT-proBNP. It is N-terminal prohormone BNP. If it is more than 300, then it is an indication for heart failure. Electrocardiogram. In heart failure, electrocardiogram may be normal or there may be ST-T wave changes. Serum creatinine test. It measures the level of creatinine in your blood. It says how well your kidneys are working. These are the values for serum creatinine for men and for women. If the values are more than this, then it may contribute to volume overload. Complete blood count. The values I've mentioned here. This helps to identify if the heart failure is due to reduced oxygen carrying capacity. Chest X-ray. It helps to determine the cardiac enlargement, pleural effusion, pulmonary edema. Echocardiogram. It is used to assess left ventricular size, ejection fraction, valve function, pericardial effusion, and wall motion abnormalities. Hyponatremia is also a laboratory test for heart failure, that is when the serum sodium is less than 130 milliequivalents per liter. Diagnosis. There is no single test available to confirm the diagnosis of heart failure. Initially, heart failure is suspected based on signs and symptoms, but this is not considered accurate or sensitive to diagnose heart failure because these signs and symptoms are found with many other disorders also. Past history, physical examination, and laboratory test helps us to understand the cause of heart failure. Electrocardiogram is considered a single most useful test in diagnosis of heart failure. Complications. One is arrhythmia. There are types of arrhythmia: ventricular arrhythmia, bradyarrhythmia, arterial fibrillation, kidney damage or kidney failure, hepatic dysfunction, respiratory insufficiency, anemia, stroke, etc. Thank you.